Hey, welcome back to the Tre Stewart program. If you're a patriot, go ahead and subscribe. We got a good show today. I'm joined by a real live woke person, Francesca. How do I say your last name?
Fiorentini. God damn it. Do you not do research before you start these shows? Is it woke to say my name? It's Italian, all right? I'm half white, so you can totally say.
Yeah, no, you're right. For Fiorentini, I don't want to get canceled, so I'll let you say it.
You don't want to get canceled by the Italian mob. I mean, that is very real. Fiorentini.
Yes.
Thank you for having me, Trey. What is up?
A lot of my followers are going to be mad because I'm talking to a liberal, but I just want everybody to relax. This is what Charlie Kirk would want. But I want to sit down and...
He died on my birthday, by the way. I mean, he was killed on my birthday, so I just feel like this is kind of like, reparations for him being killed on my birthday. He really ruined my birthday, and so I'm glad you can afford to have a woke on your show to say sorry.
You know what? I think it's the least he can do. What are you, a Sagittarius?
No, I'm a Virgo, which apparently everyone's a Virgo, so it's not that unique.
That's true. I'm not a Virgo. I'm a Libra. I don't know what that means, though, because I'm not a white woman, so... It just is I don't want to appropriate their culture.
Shouldn't.
No.
I know you respect white lives on this show, and so...
You know what? On that note, I'd like to start with some positivity. I want to start with saying 3 things that you admire about straight white men.
God, embracing their mediocrity, refusing to get any kind of glow up despite... having the same shirts for years and years and years, looking to their significant others to hold all of their emotions instead of going to therapy. I mean, there's just so many beautiful things about them.
You're right. I think the real challenge is whittling it down to 3, which you did a good job.
Thank you. I could go on, but yeah. I decided to take one in, a straight white man, as my partner and my husband.
Whoa,
so,
you're lying with the enemy.
I mean, I like to think he's more of a rescue situation, and so we're trying to get through, and he's got a lot to make up for, but he's making a lot of progress. So I like to think under my custodianship, conservatorship, or whatever it is, he can't leave the house, is what I'm trying to say.
That's good. It sounds like you got a good man.
Good man.
A nice house white.
Absolutely.
Yes, queen. I think.
Yep.
They would say.
That's what he says daily, every morning.
The greatest white man of all, Donald J. Trump, tweeted about Rob Reiner's passing. Did you see this?
I did see this.
I wasn't a fan of his at all. He was a deranged person as far as Trump is concerned. I think he hurt himself in career-wise. He became like a deranged person, Trump derangement syndrome.
Trump's comments come after he wrote this incendiary post on Truth Social earlier in the morning, claiming the couple who were brutally murdered in their own home, quote, passed away because of anger Reiner caused with his outspoken criticism of Trump.
Well, he said rest in peace. I feel like most libs just didn't get to the end of that.
Yes, yeah, he does. In his defense, he does wrap it up nice. With that said, I think I'm going to say something that I don't think I've ever said before on this show, or ever. I'm a little disappointed in Donald Trump.
This is the final moment. It is kind of funny, like unironically, that is what a lot of people are saying.
Yeah.
They feel like, oh man, this was the week, It's like, this dude came down a fucking escalator and called Mexicans rapists. Like, okay, Rob Reiner, look, and who is a lovely person, clearly. Like, you see videos of him, everyone's passing them around. Not only obviously the body of work, but like, it's just one of those people where you're like, man, I wish I had a dad like that. Like, there's very much a like,
shit, for sure.
And which is ironic because it seems like it was his son. But yeah, I guess it was weird that this was the final straw, but it really was completely uncalled for.
Yeah.
And so beyond the pale. Also, very funny to call someone paranoid while simultaneously referring to yourself in the third person.
Yeah, that is a great note.
These people are paranoid. They really hate Francesca. They're hating Francesca right now. They're talking all these things about Francesca. And it's like, you are Francesca. You're Trump.
Yeah. Usually Trump is very graceful. It's interesting, too, having just gone through Charlie Kirk, right? Like, I mean, if you even brought up a thing Charlie Kirk said, they would, demonize you as like, oh, promoting and celebrating violence. So for him to respond this way, in his immediate text, it does seem kind of tone deaf.
Yes, we are all especially every tourist, which my God, who wants to visit this country anymore? There's Disneyland and other places, okay? Y'all fucked up. I mean, like Disney really fucked up if they wanted to make tourism to this country work. Now they're all getting their phone scrubbed to looking for Charlie Kirk memes. And, I mean, just putting aside the hilarity and the irony, people have been killed over their alleged celebration of Charlie's murder. 2 young women were killed by a guy in a car who was like, saw them online posting things about Charlie Kirk, and then he fucking killed them with his car.
What?
So yeah. So this is very serious, and it is wild. The good thing for us libs, I'll speak for myself,
Yes, please do.
is that there's way more hate coming at the Kirk family from right wingers like Candace Owens.
Oh my God.
than we could ever muster. And man, if only I had the views that Candace does. But we'll see. I might get to a certain amount of race traitor in my life. You never know. I'm gonna throw the Chinese under the bus. You just wait, and the Italians, because I'm both, which is very difficult.
Kind of an impressive combination.
Thank you. I mean, it makes for a really ridiculous personality where I am like overly, overly passionate and also overly direct. Like I'm just, which is why I do what I do.
Yeah, I do respect what you do, even though I don't agree with everything you say. But
even though you don't think I should have the right to vote, I know that's fair.
Oh, you've watched my work. Yes, I listen. Okay, I mean, if you want to go there, let me say this. God designed.
Oh my God! Wait. Starting off with God.
Listen, yeah, God. This is how we justify a lot of racism and sexism.
It's very Diddy coded. I've been watching the Diddy documentary, and the best is just like him being like, "I want to own you. You're mine." Anyway, God bless, and it's like,
yeah. Well, God loves everybody, and I'm sure Jesus was. If Jesus was alive, he probably would have went to a Diddy party. Let's be honest.
I mean, honestly, that's very true. He's already coming down from heaven. He's got the white,
Yeah, he's got
he
the.
He thinks they're all angels, though, and then he gets there and he's like,
yeah. God bless Diddy. Thank God he'll be out soon. I do want to just make the point that women having rights, I think, comes from this idea that the female brain can handle making decisions on that level.
Yes.
I don't want to take away women's rights for me. It's for you guys.
Oh, I appreciate it. That's thoughtful to be like, I want you to be thoughtless. Like, I want you to not have to think. The problem is men have fucked up the world to the point where women had to roll up their sleeves and be like, okay, let me fix this for you. And we're just kind of in this moment where you just need a woman splaining. You need a woman to take over because men have held the reins too long and they have to hand over. They're fucking lost. We're in the classic man won't pull over and ask for directions moment. And women are either going to go off a cliff and land in a fiery, burning pit.
Yes.
With the whole family, which is where we are. I mean, we're careening. We're halfway down. Or you can just let us drive. So this is my basic argument. But I agree with you in theory that I would love nothing more than to not have to make decisions.
Yes.
And to have men actually, fucking make a good one once in a while.
Right. I think you bring up a good point. We've had a good run. And when by men, I mean white men. Let's be clear.
Now, do you consider yourself a white man?
In theory.
Right.
Yes,
sure.
in theory.
In your higher self.
Yeah, like my higher self wears a newsboy hat.
Yes.
And a vest.
Do you have the little elbow patches as well?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, that's what I aspire to. I'm just a minority. But that's why I think I have to speak up for white people, because white men in general, straight white men, they're having a tough time. And I know this because I'm in Austin, Texas. I'm around a lot of straight white men. And it's not it's not all fun and games. You know what I mean? There's a lot of, I think, unforeseen problems that come with running the patriarchy. And that's what women don't understand. There's a lot. It's like, go ahead.
It's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. I would love to live in a world where women are able to be as evil as men, though.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we always have we always had Thatcher. We had Thatcher. We have Hillary Clinton, but it's not enough. It needs, there needs to be more parity when it comes to like true ghouls and demons walking among us. But that's interesting. You're kind of like you're like a David Attenborough over in, the Austin comedy scene.
Yes.
Sort of observing all of these like thirsty young white men.
Oh, yeah.
Talentless, obviously, developing talent, possibly, barking up a dying tree. A sad dying tree of comedy over there, which again can be rescued, and I have a lot of faith. But isn't you could do like a documentary series based on it?
You know what? I think we might. That's a good idea. It has to be documented what's going on. The Kill Tony Monday signups, that's really where comedy is happening. I mean,
how long are those signups? Like, that's my question. Like, what lines are we talking? Are people sleeping out and camping?
People will get there like at hours before. For the chance to call Tony gay and retarded.
Like, honestly, now that I know I can do that, I feel like I need to book a trip to Austin.
Come, please. Yeah, you should.
Now, how long have you been there? Now I'm going to flip the script because I'm an interviewer.
Oh, okay. Yes.
How long have you been there, and what have you noticed? Has it changed, especially in the last year, as we realize that, man, this kind of like right-wing, comic that just wants to say slurs really doesn't have a perspective or an angle, and their boy, Donald Trump, has tanked the economy, which ironically is ensuring that women have to be back in the workforce rather than what they want, which is that women are not.
Yes. Well, it is Trump has definitely made some mistakes. I think that's right. He's not a perfect man. So, all right. Listen, I'll say that. He's not a perfect man.
I think that's big of you to admit.
Me too. I think it's, a lot of people act like, he's Jesus. He's not. He's a step below Jesus. Austin scene, it is changing. And I will say it's tough, for me, because all cards on the table, I am a, pretty progressive guy. You know what I mean? But I think as I've gotten older, I've grown to like money.
Mm-hmm.
And so now I'm just caught in between my morals and making a lot of money, because the conservative space, it's definitely more fruitful.
You mean with all sort of the like not FDA approved supplements for your dick that you can hawk, or what do you?
Yeah, there's a lot of money in dick pills. There's the tariffs haven't hit dick pills yet, but
yeah. No, they've got the carve out actually.
Oh, good.
All the brain juice or whatever supplements we're talking about. I mean, that's interesting because I feel like the right-wing comedy scene is so overly saturated, and there's such a little, pecking order of different, closeted gay guys with mommy issues that like to like even make inroads into that scene would take a lot more years. Whereas I feel like there's more of a lane for a progressive comic to kind of skewer a lot of the shit that you're seeing.
That's a good theory. But I would hard disagree. I say the money's in the alt-right.
How many cryptocurrency have you started in Austin? Do you have to, is the Kill Tony mic, like, is that by lottery, but you have to buy a coin?
Yeah, you do. You have to buy, we all have stock in Tony Hinchcliffe's Bitcoin, which it's going to go up. Keep it. So hold the line.
Because it's worth 5 minutes on the Kill Tony stage, eventually.
As much as you want to make fun of it, SNL did just hire Cam Patterson, which is straight from Kill Tony. Do you see that more as the industry kind of saying, if you can't beat him, join him?
It's interesting because I guess in all seriousness, SNL is not a liberal institution. Like, they're very much like centrist, they're corporatists, they want to go where the money is. I mean, it's this like fallacy of liberal Hollywood. It's like, look at how many Dave Chappelle specials Netflix, has produced where he's just like, and another thing about trans people. And it's like, oh my God, just confront the trans woman who fooled you. Please go to therapy over it. It's okay.
I want to see that special. Him with the
I mean,
yeah.
all I want to see is Dave sit down with a therapist and talk about the trans woman he deeply fell in love with. Like that, oh my God, I would renew my Netflix subscription. I wouldn't even have to, get on my families anymore. I would not share passwords ever again if I could see that.
Me too.
For real, I don't watch any Kill Tony. I am not versed like you are and others are, but from what I've heard, there are legitimately talented people that come through there, and I feel like Cam is probably one of those people.
Yes, for sure. Yeah, I think it's funny. I see this thing with LA comics. They criticize the Austin scene, rightfully so, even if I agree with some of the criticisms. But then they act like it's all garbage. When as someone that's on the ground, no, there's a lot of people that are really good. But I think more importantly, I think it's important for people to enter these spaces that aren't white men. What do you feel about just kind of going on? Obviously you come on this show, so you're not afraid to go on, different people that think differently than you.
Sure.
But what's your thought just in general on how to, do you win people like Nick Fuentes? Do you win his audience by engaging with him?
I think I really think that, for example, I go on Piers Morgan occasionally, or I used to. I ask to be paid because they don't pay people.
They don't?
You just no, they don't pay. They just do it. You do it to for me, I do it for the clips and I just do bits. And it's either that they decided they didn't want to pay me anymore, or I destroyed the last panel I was on with a bunch of RFK Jr. Defenders. And this guy who wants to live forever named Brian Johnson, who quite literally measures his dick against his 19-year-old dick and their nighttime erections. It's a whole fucking rabbit hole. The lives of billionaires.
That sounds great. That sounds like a good idea.
I mean, that's why you have a kid.
Yes.
It's just I want to have a son in order to do that. That's the whole point. Says normal people everywhere. I go into that space. And I think the point is, especially as a comic, you have to try to be funnier than the other people, because honestly, some right-wing comics really have a fucking axe to grind and they're not funny.
Yes.
They do have an anti-woke axe to grind. Something happened. Someone told them they couldn't say a word.
Yeah.
They were now I'm a Nazi because of it. And I think the same goes for right-wing comics in progressive spaces. I came up in San Francisco doing stand-up, and I remember certain right-wing comics, people who had really edgy jokes, really fucked up jokes that actually worked. I mean, they were funny,
Yeah.
They were kind of shock jock, edgy, edgelord. I wanted to wring this person's neck, and when they came off stage, I wouldn't talk to that dude, and I would never want to encounter that person in a dark alleyway. But he got the laughs,
Right.
And I think there was a certain self-effacing, you knew he was kind of bullshitting. And to me, it's are you funny or not? And the whole thing with some of these anti-woke comics is Jerry Seinfeld's blaming woke because his bit about a gay prince or a gay king didn't go over well.
Yeah.
It's yeah, man, because that's just not funny. I mean, it might have been funny in the 80s.
Yeah.
But you got to write new material. And so for me, it's if you're actually winning the room, and you have to think about who the room is, because I don't know who's in the mothership audience, but I do know, for example, anyone who's self-selecting to go into some of these comics, audiences, or the audience, podcast audiences that are massive. Those are people that are going to laugh at whatever the fuck you say. I mean, Dave Chappelle literally could get up on stage, fart into the microphone, and people would think it was hilarious. That's it.
Yeah.
Oh,
right.
what a good bit. Remember how he just farted?
Yeah.
The whole and
because I think he hit legend status, and so people are just happy that he's in the room.
Which is so ironic, because as a former Chappelle big fan, that was kind of the whole reason he walked away from $50 million back in the Chappelle Show was, I don't want people to laugh just because I'm famous. I want people to actually like this material, and I want it to actually do well. And, whatever, we don't have to only stick on Chappelle. It's just kind of the trajectory I think is the most disappointing, but he's definitely not the most anti-woke or whatever.
No.
He's not a right-winger.
No, I think he's more of a troll too. I see the trans stuff as he was responding to the backlash more than he was upset. It's like,
totally.
Yeah, I think he just saw, oh, you gonna tell me what not to say? Okay, well, here's 4 more hours of this. And so it's like, okay, but it is interesting, doing comedy at the mothership, and I have to legally say this, I'm not a part of the Rogan sphere. I'm just like on the outskirts of it, right? So I can just see it. A lot of my friends are solidly in it, but I got a good view of it. And I get to perform at the club. They pay good money. You know what I mean?
That's good.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Yeah. And there's actually been times where I've been in the green room and it's been mostly black people.
Yeah.
And then Ron White walked in and immediately walked out. He was like, I'm not having any of this. No, he's a good guy.
I think the big question mark, and for me, again, in all seriousness, the biggest question mark for me is around women and female comics.
Yes.
Because there is, ubiquity across a lot of the shows and on the mothership, and is that there's not a lot of women.
No.
Very few women.
Very few women in general in Austin.
Oh, I can imagine, because look, Austin sounds to me like a perpetual open mic where, again, you are like, have your, not that I ever did this, but I was in open mics where you're like, okay, I am terrified of you. But all to say, like, open mic spaces for women are deeply scary. And I think we cannot divorce what's happened to comedy and the Rogan sphere from the backlash to the Me Too movement. And look, the music industry somehow didn't get hit by the Me Too movement at all. And everyone's like, like Steven Tyler groomed like a 14-year-old. And like, then it came later for R. Kelly and obviously Diddy. But like, the comedy world did get hit with it. The comedy world, there were so many stories about just, either rape, sexual assault, a hostile work environment. Obviously, there's no union, right? There's no executives, there's nobody. And so all of that, I think, backlash to what was rightfully being called out as a very hostile work environment for women. I mean, toxic fucking spaces. The store used to be dangerous for women in some places. Like, you talk about green rooms being, cool and chummy. Again, they can be dangerous for women or for like comics girlfriends who are just kind of there,
Right.
And I don't mean, it could be dangerous from like physically dangerous to even just like, if you're a female comic and you're like, not dressing the right way or saying the right things, or you're being too, I remember like there are stories, I'm not going to say who, but like even like Dane Cook had his little fiefdom at, Laughs, or the Laugh Factory, excuse me, not Laughs, at Laugh Factory. And it's like, a friend of mine couldn't be friends with his girlfriend. And it was like, ugh, okay. So there's just a lot of different versions and forms of male dominance in the comedy space. Again, not all of it nefarious, but a lot of it is there. And so I think that's something we don't grapple with a lot, is like, I've been watching the Elephant Graveyard videos, very much destroying the Rogan universe.
Oh yeah, Elephant. Shout out to
Shout
Elephant.
out. But those videos don't even talk about like a lot of the women who, kind of said the same things that Mark Maron has been saying this last year about just this reactionary, stand-up, and how corny it is and how bad it is. And I think we just kind of like memory hole how women actually were speaking out about that. I'm thinking of like Alice Wetterland as an example.
Yeah, I think that you're right. And I'm going to make a lot of guys mad when I say this, but I think that some good came out of the Me Too movement.
It's a shame. I think men are upset to hear it.
I know they are, but I feel like Mark Maron, I remember his point that he made. I remember like agreeing with half of it. I do find that his point about bringing politicians, and I would love your thoughts on this, platforming people like Trump and not pushing back is a legitimate criticism if you're not also doing the same thing for your side. So
right, yeah.
So it's like Mark has all this deserve criticism for Rogan, but then Obama comes on. It's like it's buddy with. I feel about that the same way I feel about Joe talking to Trump. It's kind of like you're not going to push back at all. I don't want to see you be friends with this guy.
I think that's really fair criticism. I mean, I come from a, progressive influencer space, kill me. And, every time I have a politician on my show, The Bituation Room, that everyone should check out.
Yes.
Every time I have a politician on, no matter, it's usually a Democrat, I will always have a difficult question for them. Always, always, always. And, I think that's the job if you're going to do an interview show. The reality is the reason that politicians like Trump or Vance or billionaires like Peter Thiel, the reason they want to do Joe Rogan's show is because they know they're not going to get pushback. And by the same token, the reason that Obama or some of my accolades, not my accolades, but some people like Senator Adam Schiff or other, representatives will do or speak with progressive influencers for their TikTok or their Instagram is because they know that person will not ask them questions about Gaza. They're not going to ask them questions, about it, taking AIPAC money. They're not going to ask them questions about crypto,
right?
Because a lot of Democrats take crypto. They're not going to ask them questions about taking, private insurance money from the healthcare sector, because a lot of them do, and so they feel safe because they can be like, oh yeah, fascism's bad and it's bad to, sweep up your neighbors. And it's like, yeah, totally. So what about big tech's role in it? And do you think that we should break up big tech? Hard questions like that. Super validate. The difference I will say is I think Obama is a little less rank and probably less war crimes indictable than a Donald Trump.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
But the criticism still stands, I think, for sure.
What's the difference between platforming and engaging in conversation with these people to maybe get to their audience? Like Mamdani comes to mind. He went on Flagrant. I don't know did you see that?
I did.
What'd you think of that? Because I thought he killed it.
He did kill it. I didn't watch the whole thing, obviously. I can only watch a little bit of Andrew Schultz at a time.
Because it's kind of like how you can only eat so much candy. It's like it tastes good, but you got to take a break.
It's like the candy corn of podcasts. You can eat like 4 and be like, oh, I'm gonna hurl. But yeah, I think Mamdani's ability to go into those spaces and kind of charm people is truly unique. And I think for sure, AOC is not going to be able to do that because, again, I think she's got a vagina, and it's just like such a problem for her.
Can't be sure.
We can't be sure.
Yeah.
I mean, she, she may be, like Emmanuel Macron's wife, but like,
yeah, it's an epidemic.
Truly. But the ability to kind of like bro out and like, shoot the shit, it's something that's so much more afforded to men, which is sad because I feel like I have this like low voice and I say dude and bro a lot and I can fucking throw down and like, again, I've proven that I don't think women should have the vote. So I would like to be able to bro out as well.
Yeah, and you should
I'm a cool girl.
Yeah. I know you are. There should be space for different voices, especially women. I'd love to see you on Flagrant, actually. That would be
God.
Great. I want to see AOC on Flagrant.
Yeah, if AOC going on Flagrant would be very interesting. But I think, again, kind of the purpose of those shows is to kind of like have an uncritical hang. It is kind of like the green room vibe.
Yeah.
Like you get on board, throw a little, try to do some yes-anding, add to the bit, laugh, but don't say anything that's gonna like make anyone feel away or like don't push back on what somebody said. Don't ask a hard question because you're gonna fuck up the vibe.
Yeah, it is about the hang.
It's about the hang.
This was the vibes election.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Kamala not going on Rogan, I think was definitely a misstep. Would you agree on that?
I think she still would have lost. I mean, what's so
she
sad
definitely
is
would have lost.
I think she still would have lost, but it was so beyond at that point. We were all, speaking of vibes, I feel like we were all vibing our way into being like, Trump can't get reelected, can he? Like I twitch. Yes, she should have tried to go and sit down with him.
Right.
I think actually they would have gotten along well. They could have, palled around or broed out about like being tough on crime. She's a fucking cop.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
So I feel like they might have had more in common than but maybe she didn't want that image, right? She didn't want to see herself in that way. Who knows?
Maybe. I think that there's a good argument to be made that it wouldn't have saved her, but it's definitely, you can't not go in these spaces. Oh, yeah, I think that Mamdani did a good job, and I think that if you have a progressive message, you should want to go on, in these spaces. And I think you're right, Kamala, she didn't have like a great message, so I don't think that would have helped.
Again, Kamala is not cutting through some of the noise and not speaking in a way that I think is accessible to a lot of people. I mean, this is a problem with a lot of Democrats generally, is because they don't really stand for anything. They can't stand 10 toes down on universal health care or on jobs guarantees or on affordable housing or on, really combating climate change or taxing billionaires. Their middle ground is so obscure and difficult to understand, and it ends up getting all garbled in like means testing this for some people and for others, and we get the and it's Kamala is gonna roll up there and talk about the opportunity economy. It sounds like nonsense. And I think a lot of people can see through that. And also, Trump believes he is a real racist. I mean, he truly believes in
That's
white
what I love about him.
Yeah, he's right there. You don't have to guess.
Absolutely.
It's
He's
just,
up front.
You always know what's going on in his head and his heart.
I appreciate that.
Pure sociopathic narcissism.
Yeah. Him and Bernie Sanders are very much, you buy what you get. You get exactly that.
And hopefully, right? I mean, Bernie probably won't run again, but yes.
Oof. Yeah. I think that, and that's another problem too. Full disclosure, I'm one of these Bernie to Trump pipeline guys, right? But I was a Bernie bro, Now I'm more of a classical liberal. Me and Piers Morgan were really holding it down.
You, Piers Morgan, and Bill Maher.
And Bill Maher, yeah.
Just really don't want to see trans women in sports.
We're classical. We're old school. We really care about women's sports. We want to protect the sanctity of women because we're all feminists. And that's what people don't need to understand is I don't hate women. Period. Yeah.
I think that's a great place to end. I mean, that moment. I don't hate women, but fill in the blank.
Do you think that we're ready for a female president?
I don't know. I think I think it's like, does America deserve a female president?
Yeah.
That answer is no.
Kamala's running again.
Oh, thank God. Thank God. She's going to finally do Rogan, and she's going to be like, I get it. We did it, Joe, but a different Joe,
Yeah.
Look, I think that number one, beyond what the identity of the person who runs is we need the vision, we need the plan, we need the no bullshit. So what is that? And you got to lead with that first. And the problem is Democrats usually have led with, well, I'm the first blank or I'm the first this, and they substitute empty identity politics. Although I believe identity matters, it does matter what your lived experience is, but not empty ones. Nobody wants any more kneeling in kente cloths. We want real, criminal justice reform.
Yes.
We want an end to the mass incarceration of Black and brown Americans. For real. Like, stop fucking lumping in or, this whole like criminals. Let's end this language that basically calls Black men criminals and makes that like, it's a perfectly fine thing to say criminals this, criminals that, and what everyone really just means is Black people. It's sick.
To play devil's advocate,
Sure.
there are a lot of statistics that show black people are criminals. So I'm a numbers guy. You know what I mean?
There's a lot of statistics to show that they commit no more or less crime than white people. But somehow they're on the hook for it and white people are not. So,
well, you know what? I think it's a specific type of crime black people do. You know, like we don't do mass shootings. It's black on black crime, and it needs to stop. Thank you so much for doing this. I don't want to take
anytime. I mean, not really. If once every 6 months, do not contact me any earlier than that, please. Trey, this has been quite enough.
Yes. Thank you for being brave enough to have.
I wasn't sure what I was going to get, but I'm glad you're just a reasonable classical liberal. Again, in the Piers Morgan, Bill Maher vein, you know, all you want is to protect your own supremacy. You don't want to give up anything.
Yes.
And you also reserve the right to opine about everybody else.
That's what I've been saying. Yes, I speak with nothing.
With no authority
no
on all issues. And I think that really is key. But no, for real though, you should do a documentary. And I think it is very interesting. I'm talking like, you know, GoPro cam, if we still do those, you know, going kind of underground in the Rogan sphere, which, you know, I hope the mothership can evolve. Mm-hmm. I don't wish that it goes away, but I hope that it can probably be a less toxic place for all people. You know, I don't think there's any glory in being, you know, someone who gave it all up to go move to Austin and feels also like, I'm just going to be 100% about it. You cannot be shamed and browbeat and sort of like laughed at and mocked in your first like year of comedy. You need a comedy community that can be supportive, you know? And so there is something sort of, I don't know, anti-stand-up about some of the Kill Tony-esque, like, you know, just piling on someone who's literally doing this shit for the first fucking time.
Yes,
like,
yeah.
What are we doing? You know?
I think there is a toxic aspect of like, let's all watch train wrecks. And then, you know, but there are good people on both sides. As a great man once said. And I think that's a good idea. I'm gonna get a GoPro and do a documentary.
Yeah, you get a GoPro and be one of those comics that just like has a dog with them all the time. You know those where you're like, do you have a place to live? And they don't.
Yeah, there's a lot of homeless. I mean, there'd be no Kill Tony without homeless people. Let's be real.
He's invested. That's why he's invested in sort of a right-wing narrative. That's why he loves Trump. You know, he tank the economy, more homeless people, more people who are just going to move to Austin and make it. It's good to know that the Austin comedy fans can actually see someone like yourself. You're funny. I've been checking out your clips, and I hope to see you in person.
Oh, thank you. Absolutely. Yes. Yeah. Next time I'm in the woke hellscape that is Los Angeles.
I see you were crowdfunding a move to LA.
That's right, to fight the woke mind virus.
This is the re-migrate we're hearing about, right?
the moving from LA to Austin and then back to LA.
Dude, if I lived in Austin and I had to be subjected to the amount of like bad stand-up comedy, I would just hold signs that say re-migrate.
Yeah, you should. I mean, to be fair, I don't want to dismiss LA. They've got some terrible comedy. I was just there.
Oh,
it's
God.
like not
we should have so many of the people who are coming out here to seek fortune and fame.
Yeah.
They need to re-migrate as well. Just to save democracy, re-migrate to your fucking red state so you can go vote.
Yes.
You dumbass.
Shout out to Jeff Dye. A great
Shout
guy.
out to Jeff Dye.
Where can people find you and I guess yell at you for being a woman?
Oh my God, please troll me at Franny Fio, FRANIFIO, on YouTube, Instagram, I guess TikTok. Listen to the Bitchuation Room podcast, interviewing comics and experts, activists, journalists on the news of the week.